Please welcome one of the more popular talk show hosts in the country, Laura Ingraham. Good morning, Miss Ingraham.
It's great. It's great to be here. You know, I was watching you guys in the makeup room, and I was thinking, I've been coming on this show since 1996. So that's 16 years, 17 years, 18 years, 18 years. Ooh.
19.
19. Thank you. The math was never my
4
strong
and 5.
suit.
You're the one who went to college.
Oh,
I didn't.
And I always think you always seem to me you look like someone that I know, and I never could peg it. And and I said to and asked the makeup folks if I didn't say you look fantastic. I mean, number one. But you remember Amadeus, the movie about Mozart?
Yes,
remember Tom Hulce, the actor?
Mozart, yeah.
Right, but he's so. But it's the beautiful hair. That's what it is. You have the most beautiful hair that I'm saying this. It's like, how do you?
You're not the first person. Remember, Mike Tyson said the same exact thing.
Right, but he should. I mean, you should have gone into acting with that hair. Forget radio.
Mike Tyson said I look like Beethoven.
Oh, that's right.
Right, Amadeus was as Tom Hulce played Beethoven. Yeah. But it's like you could do the whole. You could have done it better than he. But it finally came to me after all these years sitting there.
Who are you supporting for president?
No one.
Well, you're not.
No.
Who would you like to see run?
Well, I have been fairly clear in one proclamation that Jeb Bush is not the right choice for the Republican Party.
Why?
Well, a number of things. Obviously, his beliefs in Common Core and immigration amnesty, and just the dynastic idea of politics. If you're going to try to take down, and let's say for just argument, it's Hillary Clinton as the nominee, you blunt the entire argument of we've had enough of Back to the Future, right, with the Clintons, with the Bushes. So you immediately remove that, and then, of course, during the campaign, they're being nice to Jeb now, but if he's the nominee, then it'll be, okay, what did you actually do for tenant health care? And then what about everything you did with Barclays? I'm not saying there's anything wrong with anything that he did, but it's once again going through all of how did you make money off of your relationship with China? How did you make money? $2.1 million in fees and compensation off a company that benefited from Obamacare, yet you're against Obamacare. I think all of that stuff comes up, and I don't think he's going to unite the party. We really need someone who strikes a balance between the old establishment class and kind of the new, or whatever you want to call them, Tea Party or Reagan conservatives. And I don't think, as nice as he is, and I like him very much as a person, that he's that uniting force. We need a real uniter, not someone who divides.
You know who I really like is Mitt Romney.
Yeah, I've always liked Romney.
But he's like.
I don't think he's going to run. I mean, I don't think so.
You don't think he should run, do you?
Well, I think if you're going to run against the Bush machine, you're going to have to be willing to really take him down. Yeah. And I think a lot of these people are afraid of taking on the old Bush record because, the Bushes, they're beloved in many circles. But you have to be willing to say, look, it's nothing personal, but you went out with like a 25% approval rating. We lost the House, we lost the Senate, we got Obama. We got into these wars that for the most part are not popular and didn't end well. And we don't want to have to keep relitigating all of that with a new Bush running.
Hillary Clinton seems like such old news. I mean, you just made that point.
Yeah, well, I think she is, but I would never underestimate the power of either the Bushes or the Clintons. They are enormously well connected. They know how to run politics. They're from the heartland of the country. They know Middle America. I mean, do they have problems? Of course they do. But we don't need to replicate the problems that the Clintons have with their dynastic chain on the Republican side.
One of the things I like about the Clintons is that they're willing to kill their friends, and so they had to kill the terrorists.
I think, can we talk about the France? Actually, can we do one more thing about Jeb? Because I think we have a graphic.
We can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Thank you. So Jeb came out with his Right to Rise pack. Did you hear? It's called the Right to Rise.
I didn't pay attention.
Okay, well,
Tell me.
He did a cell phone video because the kids like cell phone videos.
Sure.
So I think it's like cell phone video, and he's doing a walk and talk down the street, introducing the pack. But I think we have. Do we have
like a selfie deal?
Yeah. Well, he's not doing it. Someone else is. Do we have the logo that we can put up on? There he is. So you see him. I mean.
Oh, I like those.
Okay. What? Right to what is that? What? See the hand going up? Bernie, doesn't that if you have the clenched fist, isn't that like kind of a power deal?
It certainly resembles it.
What did they just go get clip art off the internet?
68 Olympics.
It's like a communist Chinese.
Right. And I was thinking Right to Rise. I think of that old Fleischmann's yeast packets, right? The bread, the right to rise. To me, it seems.
It means something else to me.
Yeah, well, that's mine, Hillary.
So we're talking with Laura Ingraham, and fills in for, who's a permanent fill-in host for Bill O'Reilly. Whenever you're on there, it seems to me I actually really like him. Off the air and on. But it seems like a contentious relationship between you two.
Is it? Does it seem that way?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think the reason I like.
I'm sorry.
Well, the reason I like going on that show is because it's like with you and all these years coming on the show, you like the give and take because you know that if it's an echo chamber, everyone agrees with that. That's not fun radio. It's not fun television. So I think he welcomes and invites the policy contention, which I think is good.
He doesn't like some people disagreeing with him, but
No.
he doesn't obviously mind you.
No, and that's why I love going on the show.
It's good.
Yeah, I like the sparks. By the way, I heard you guys quoting that the Charlie Hebdo editor saying I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees.
Yes.
Do you know who originally said that? A variation of it? Che Guevara. Just so FYI. I mean, when I heard that yesterday, I was like, I think Che said that, and I just looked it up backstage. So
I just sent my Che Guevara T-shirt over to just to try to make this about me a little.
Yeah, let's do that.
Over to the housing works up there on the west side. You wanted to talk about the parish.
Yeah, obviously horrific. It's not surprising. 751 no-go zones exist outside of Paris and throughout France.
What's that mean?
A no-go zone, it's officially in French, it's called sensitive urban zones. And they're dominant Muslim populations where security forces and police really have no control. Christopher Dickey referenced this earlier today. He's an expert on these issues. I think what's happened is that the elite parties in France and throughout Europe have enabled this separatism, this radicalism, to really grow and fester. And multiculturalism sounds like a great idea, except when it isn't. And when there's a clash of understandings of freedom and liberty and pluralism, and that's what you have in France. There are about 6 million Muslims, overwhelmingly, most of them are law-abiding and peaceful people. But when you have this strain that's allowed to fester because of political correctness and concern, you're going to have really bad things happen. And I think this is the beginning probably of a lot more of these types of attacks or tensions. And I hope people wake up to what's really going on here.
Last night, O'Reilly, speaking to him, said, which I thought was pretty good, and that is in terms of fighting these people, ISIS, ISIL, and the rest of them, that until all of the countries of the world unite in opposition to these people and get on the same page, it's never going to be solved. And then he added, all of the countries of the world are not going to get on the same page and are not going to unite in combating this. So what do we do?
Well, I don't think we squander our resources by going here, there, and everywhere and getting ourselves involved in every other nation's conflict. We can't do that. We don't have the money. No one talks about the fact that we have $17.8 trillion in debt. We don't have the money, and the public aren't supporting it. So what we do have to do is understand, the limits of our power, grow our economy, grow the middle class, so we don't have a disaffected group of Americans who feel like the system's rigged against them. That's what's going on in France. I mean, we got millions of people whose wages aren't going up as the cost of living is rising. That's going to be a powder keg. And you're seeing the rise of third parties throughout Europe, in the UKIP party in Britain, the Social Democrat, the Democrat Party, the Democrat Front in France, Sweden, Switzerland, Germany. This is not happening because these people are mean, horrible people that hate all immigrants. They see their way of life disappearing, and they see nobody representing them. We can't let that happen in this country. We have to really focus on the working class people. Regardless of whether you're a Democrat or Republican, the working class have to have a better life in America. It can't be just the rich getting richer and the poor getting taken care of by the government.
Bill Maher, who I have known since he was 16 years old, he is, and I like, doesn't mean I agree with him all the time.
Right.
But he did say that hundreds of millions of Muslims tacitly approve of what happened.
He's right. The Pew Global Research on a poll on all of these sentiments about jihad, is it okay to kill innocents in the name of Islam? I think it was done a couple of years ago, but when you did the percentages, I think it was maybe 15% of Muslims agreed that jihad sometimes necessary. That's about right, hundreds of millions. And this shouldn't be the conservatives' fight only against Islamic jihadism. Where have the liberals been on this? And I think it's great that Bill Maher is doing that. He's calling their bluff. You guys are all for free expression.
No.
It's okay when you dip a crucifix in urine. Everybody's going to applaud. Oh, it's so wonderful. But do you know in 2012, Jay Carney got up there in the White House briefing room and criticized the judgment of this very publication that got shot up yesterday? He got up at the White House and questioned the judgment of publishing these Prophet Muhammad cartoons.
Yeah, we ran that clip this morning.
It's just... you know, so, I mean, I don't hear them questioning the judgment of all the times Hollywood trashes the Catholic Church, Christians. They're all dumb. They're all stupid hayseeds. So Maher's right, and I think he's actually being truly liberal in what he's saying. But most of them are just hypocrites and totally intolerant of religion.
I was talking to Doug Brinkley, the professor of history at Rice, historian, who's a friend of mine who I like. He said about this current administration and the Congress that he thought neither the president nor the Congress were going to cooperate with each other.
Well, they will cooperate on a couple of issues that benefit both of their big donor classes, like trade. They're gonna push these trade deals, and I think the idea of a conservative giving Obama more authority over trade to make these trade decisions with very little check from Congress. It's like one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. We have a $314 billion trade deficit with China last year.
Jesus.
We're losing the trade war. It's not, people are like, well, Laura, you're going to start a trade war. No, there is a trade war, and we're losing it. And our middle class is suffering, and the jobs are going overseas, and globalism has been tried, and frankly, it's failed because we don't enforce our trade rules.
They have a good voice, you know that?
It's gotten lower as I've gotten
it's a good
thicker.
voice. It's a good one.
Well, I love you, I-Man.
Did you see Chris Christie hug Jerry Jones?
That was like that. Remember that? What was it the film The Goonies? What was that film with that weird hug they did? It was The Goonies or one of those strange '80s movies. Yeah, I mean, if you want to be president, you have to start acting like you want to be president, right? You're not going to see Jeb Bush doing that. The Bushes kind of know. Look, run like you're already the nominee. Run like you're going to be the nominee.
I'm sort of concerned with somebody who's gone to over 100 Bruce Springsteen concerts, and I'm a big fan of Mr. Springsteen's, but
I like Christie. I mean, I like Christie. He's not conservative on all the issues that I believe, but we have to really remember, Chris Christie ran one of the best campaigns when he first won his governorship, and ditto for the second campaign. He knows people. He's one of the most YouTubeable politicians. Yeah, maybe that was ill-considered.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, there are very few people who have the ethnic sensibility, that regular guy persona, and who has the fight in him or her to take on the Bushes or the Clintons.
Let me tell you
he might be the one to do it.
When he was running against that skunk Corzine,
yeah.
and they were making fun of him for being a fat moose, and he was given no chance. I put the fat, ungrateful bastard on this program.
Right, you helped him.
And helped him, and allowed him to be self-effacing and to deal with that. And now look.
The elites don't like fat people, though. I mean, how many Bushes are fat? None of these people are fat. I'm sorry, but the elites don't like fat people.
Yeah.
So that's just one more reason why they don't like Chris Christie.
I don't mind the fat people.
Yeah, I mean, America's always fighting the battle of the.
Thank you for appearing in person.
It's great seeing you.
It's a big treat for
Mozart. I look forward to.
People.
I look forward to seeing your composition later on.
Laura Ingraham here, the Irish One program. 10 minutes down to the hour.
Imus in the morning.